Say hello to the brand new Innovv K5, or what Innovv hopes will move them away from the DashCam world and into the much larger action cam world. Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. The place where getting your motorcycle news is easier than getting Dave to clean your bike, but not by much. The older K2 model was a great dashcam system with very nice specs like 2 full HD cameras, a GPS system, but its main drawback was the poor video quality. It's been living on my bike untouched since I installed it because thankfully I've never had any incidents where I needed footage from it. And to use any of that footage in my videos would just be blasphemy because no matter what I did to it, the compression artifacts and the overall quality wasn't up to par. But now, Innovv say that the K5 will blow us all away as far as video quality is concerned, and given that it's boasting impressive 4K resolution, I can't wait to try it out. If it comes even remotely close to what my GoPro does, not even the latest model, whatever GoPro was up to 3-4 years ago, it would make my life a lot easier. I would be delighted because I would finally have a camera on the bike that records non-stop and actually has usable footage. So let's get into it. Alright, firstly, let's take a look and see what's in the box. That's always a fun, easy part. Okay, a little thank you note. Innovv comes from Innovv. Then we can see the biggest change so far, and that is the brand new 4K front camera. Biggest change so far because the front camera is now huge. Now, the reason Innovv say they did that is because of video quality. On the K2 system, the camera lens were physically different than the actual video recorder, the thing that did all the processing. And because the lens sent all of its data through long runs of cable, you would get much worse video quality than if the lens was actually together with the processor. Next up, we have the rear camera. That's a 1080p camera of full HD. Then we have a GPS unit, and then we have a brand new remote. This wasn't included on the K2, and this will pretty much tell you exactly what the unit is doing at any time. Instructions, a mount kit, the power converter, and all the cables and lenses you could hope for. And the sticker, oh bless their soul. Now, while this whole rat's nest of cables here might seem like a daunting task to actually install, it's not really that difficult. The first thing that you need to do is figure out where you're going to place your front camera because everything else is going to plug into this one. Innovv actually took quite a big risk making this front camera as big as it is because it restricts a lot of the places where you would usually mount it. A lot of people are recording their rides nowadays, and Innovv wants to be quite a big player in that market as well. They want to move over to the motor vlog side of things, and unfortunately, with the K2, it really wasn't possible because, as I said, video quality wasn't up to par. But with the K5, they might actually have a shot. And they're so confident they do that they actually came up with an external mic for all your motor vlogging needs. See, I thought about mounting the front camera over here. This would have been the perfect spot for it. Great wide angle, but I don't have any place for it. I don't have any space for it. I could mount it here. I could mount it where the old K2 camera is installed right now. I'll figure it out. I've got my trusty chair here. I've got the only tool I need. You enjoy this time lapse while I get cracking.
A few inches later.
Alright, I still have a bit of cable management to do, put the fairings back on, but everything is in its final place, so let me show you what I've done. This was the best position for the front camera. The field of view is not obstructed at all. All the cables run underneath here and are going to be very tidily cable tied. It looks a bit like a rat's nest right now, but that can easily be improved. The microphone, I decided to leave it here temporarily because I want to test it out in my helmet. In the end, I will probably put it underneath the beak somewhere because I wanted to record the actual engine noise. The remote, I decided to 3M tape over here. It is at arm's reach at all times, so I can easily press that if I need to. All of the cables from the front run underneath the tank, and I found a very nice place for the power unit right over here. Two of the cables, the positive and the negative, run to the battery over here. And then the yellow one, that's the signal one. That makes sure that the cameras are turned off when the bike is turned off. That runs to the Hicks EasyCam, the accessory manager here. That takes care of everything, so no need to splice any wires. The rear camera I've placed by the signal light here, and its cable runs all the way to the front of the bike. That is the GPS transmitter. I've 3M taped that to the bottom of this fairing. It doesn't need to be line of sight, but also, you know, don't put it under the bike. Alright, so the moment we've all been waiting for, let's see what the footage looks like. The first thing that is apparent is that there are no more compression artifacts, which is great. If we look at the K2 footage, that cloud, for example, looks pretty blocky. This is a compression artifact. The clouds on the K5 look smooth, so no extreme compression going on here. Now, this is not resolution related. You can have 1080p that looks brilliant and 4K that looks horrible. Bitrate is what dictates video quality in the end, and that is measured in megabits per second of actual data being recorded. The K2 system had a bitrate of just 12 megabits per second, which is very low, but good for keeping file sizes small. The K5 system, however, has bumped that up to 32 megabits per second. Almost 3 times as much data is being recorded, and the improvement can definitely be seen. The rear camera is at 19 megabits per second, a big improvement from the K2, but when we compare this to GoPro's 100 megabit per second bitrate, we can see that everything is a lot sharper, the colors look more natural, and that's what you get when you record more data. The downside of this, however, is that you obviously need a lot more space on your SD cards. Now, Innovv has a tough decision to make here. A thin line to walk between DashCam quality footage or Action Cam quality footage. And with the K5, they've already crossed into the Action Cam territory. They've bumped the video quality up almost threefold. They've increased the resolution to 4K, which is pretty much becoming a standard nowadays. And they've included a microphone which actually sounds pretty good.
This is the audio from the dedicated sound recorder, and this is the audio from the Innovv K5 mic.
In conclusion, I guess what I'm saying is that even though with a bit of editing TLC, the footage from the K5 can definitely be used in any video, something which wasn't possible on the K2. However, Innovv, we want more. Bump that bitrate right up, we'll get bigger SD cards, don't worry. Work on your stabilization a bit as well. You've already got a gyroscope in the camera, use that data to software stabilize the footage. Nobody likes shaky footage. You're on your way to combining the ease of use of a dashcam, continuous recording, doesn't need a battery, has a GPS, with the video quality of an action cam. I love the little remote with the one button on that you can press whenever something interesting happens, and that part of the footage is not going to be overwritten. I love your GPS implementation, which shows my ride on a map, but I want more video quality. A lot of riders nowadays are motovlogging, a lot more than 3 years ago, for example, and while the quality that comes out of the K5 at the moment is not bad, I would use it in any video I make, I still want more. Comments time. If there's anything else you want to know about the K5 that we haven't covered here, the comment section below is the place for you. If you have a K5 and want to chip in your own opinion, head down there as well. I'd love to read it. And yes, Dave likes the K5 for those of you that keep on asking. Well, that's the show for today, everyone. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up. And if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming one of our Patreons to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.